The stars looked different from the observation deck of the United Earth Space Station. Commander Olivia Martinez stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the strange ship approach. It gleamed like polished metal under Earth's sun, its shape unlike anything human engineers had designed. The aliens had finally come. "Commander, they're requesting permission to dock," said Lieutenant Frank Miller, his voice steady despite the historic moment. "Granted," Olivia said. She took a deep breath. Humanity had wondered about alien life for centuries. Now, in 2157, they would meet face to face. The station's crew gathered in the main hall. Scientists, soldiers, and diplomats stood in neat rows. Olivia felt the weight of her uniform. As Earth's chosen representative, her actions today would shape humanity's future among the stars. The airlock door slid open with a soft hiss. Olivia stepped forward as three figures entered. The leader stood nearly 7 feet tall with blue-tinted skin that seemed to shimmer. Its 4 eyes blinked in sequence, taking in the human welcome party. "I am High Counselor Zixal of the Arcavian species," the alien said, its voice translated through a small device on its chest. "I represent the Galactic Council, a union of 327 spacefaring civilizations. We come in peace." Olivia bowed slightly. "Commander Olivia Martinez of the United Earth Defense Force. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, welcome." The formal greetings finished quickly. Soon Olivia led the aliens to the conference room where Earth's top officials waited via secure video link. The room fell silent as the aliens took their seats. "We have observed your world for some time," Zixal said. "Your species has achieved much in a short period. Your technology advances quickly." "Thank you," said President Susan Clark from her office in Washington. "We're eager to learn about the galaxy and your council." Zixal nodded, a gesture the aliens had clearly studied. "The council exists to maintain peace and share knowledge. All member species contribute their unique skills and resources." As the meeting continued, Olivia noticed the third alien, a small creature with pale skin and large eyes, watching her closely. It whispered to its companion, who then spoke up. "If I may, High Counselor," the second alien said. "I am Science Director Vrel of the Monin species. We have studied Earth's biological and historical records. Your species concerns us." President Clark frowned. "Concerns you? How so?" "You are predators," Vrel said simply. "Most council species evolved from herbivores or omnivores with limited hunting behaviors. Humans are persistence hunters who evolved to chase prey until it collapsed. From exhaustion, your bodies efficiently cool themselves through sweating, allowing you to outlast faster animals." The room grew tense. Olivia stepped in. "Our evolution shaped us, yes, but we've built civilizations based on cooperation and peace. After thousands of years of warfare," Vrel countered. "Your history shows constant conflict. Even now, your planet maintains military forces and weapons that could destroy your own world several times over." "Defense is necessary," Olivia said firmly. "The universe is unknown to us. We prepared accordingly." Zixal raised a hand. "We do not judge. Each species carries its evolutionary past. The Council values diversity. However, we must understand each other clearly." The meeting shifted to more practical matters: trade possibilities, technology exchange, and diplomatic protocols. Hours passed as they laid the groundwork for future relations. Olivia watched the aliens carefully, noting their reactions and behavior. Despite their concerns about human nature, they seemed genuinely interested in peaceful contact. As the formal discussions ended, Zixal approached Olivia privately. "Commander, your responses were measured and thoughtful. I believe you understand the delicate nature of first contact." "Thank you, High Counselor. Humanity has dreamed of this moment for generations. We want to join the galactic community as respected equals." Zixal's 4 eyes blinked in sequence again. "Many council species felt fear when we discovered Earth. Your predatory nature, your military readiness, your rapid technological growth. These traits remind some of ancient threats long forgotten." "We're not a threat," Olivia said firmly. Perhaps not intentionally, but potential exists in your species that both impresses and worries us. Zixal paused, seeming to consider something. Tell me, Commander, how would humans respond to a genuine threat to the galaxy? Before Olivia could answer, a sharp beeping sound came from the device on Zixal's wrist. The alien's posture changed instantly, its relaxed stance becoming rigid. Excuse me, Zixal said, stepping away to speak with the other aliens in their own language. Their conversation grew intense with rapid gestures and urgent tones. Olivia approached cautiously. Is something wrong, High Counselor? Zixal turned to her, all four eyes now focused intently on her face. We have received a distress signal from the outer rim worlds. Several council planets have gone silent in the past few hours. Silent? What does that mean? Olivia asked. Communication networks destroyed. Defense systems overwhelmed. Millions of lives potentially lost. Zixal's voice remained calm, but Olivia sensed the alien's distress. We must return immediately. Can we help? Olivia offered instinctively. Zixal studied her for a long moment. The Predator offers assistance. Interesting. The alien seemed to make a decision. Perhaps in time, Commander. For now, we must assess the situation. Our diplomatic mission will continue later. Within the hour, the alien ship departed, leaving Earth with more questions than answers. In the station's control room, Olivia watched the ship disappear into faster-than-light travel. What do you think happened? Frank asked, standing beside her. I don't know, Olivia said. But they were scared. Whatever is attacking those worlds must be powerful enough to worry a civilization with hundreds of spacefaring species. Should we be worried too? Olivia turned from the viewport. Alert all Earth Defense Force ships. Begin combat readiness. Drills. If there's something out there that scares the Galactic Council, we need to be prepared. As she gave the orders, Olivia remembered Zixal's question about how humans would respond to a galactic threat. Perhaps soon the Council would learn the answer. Humanity's predatory past had shaped them into survivors. If a threat was coming, Earth would not face it unprepared. The stars continued to shine in the viewport, suddenly seeming colder and more distant than before. Something was moving out there in the darkness, and for the first time in human history, Earth was not alone in facing it. 6 months passed since the Galactic Council's hasty departure. Earth prepared. Military drills increased. Scientists studied the limited alien technology the Council had shared. Every nation worked together, united by the knowledge that something dangerous lurked among the stars. Olivia Martinez now wore the rank of Admiral. She stood in the United Nations Security Council chamber in New York, surrounded by world leaders. The room fell silent as the large screen on the wall flickered to life. High Counselor Zixal appeared, looking worn and tired. The shimmering blue skin had dulled. 2 of the alien's 4 eyes seemed permanently half-closed. Admiral Martinez, Zixal said, the situation has worsened. We must speak. We're listening, Olivia said. She noticed President Clark nodding at her from the side of the room. 12 council worlds have fallen, Zixal said. The alien's voice remained calm, but Olivia heard the underlying strain. The enemy consumes everything. We call them the Void Swarm. Images appeared on the screen. Vast black ships shaped like insects descended on green planets. Swarms of smaller craft followed. More images showed barren worlds stripped of life and resources. They are a hive mind species, Zixal continued. They consume all organic matter, strip planets of minerals, then move to the next world. Our scientists believe they've existed in the spaces between galaxies, only now entering our region of space. Your defenses? Asked Admiral William Carter, head of Earth's Space Command. Failing, Zixal admitted. The Council existed in peace for thousands of years. Our ships are designed for exploration and peacekeeping, not war. Olivia understood what wasn't being said. The peaceful herbivore species of the Council faced predators for the first time, and they were losing. We come to Earth not just to warn you, Zixal said. We offer full membership in the Galactic Council. Share your technology and your unique perspective on warfare. In return, gain access to our star maps, resource-rich worlds, and advanced science. The room erupted in whispers. President Clark raised her hand for silence. And if Earth refuses, she asked, then we hope the void swarm fills itself on council worlds before reaching yours, Zixal said bluntly. But our scientists believe they will not stop until all life in the galaxy is consumed. Admiral Carter stepped forward. The council feared us for being predators. Now you want our help because of it. Yes, Zixal said simply. We were wrong to fear what we did not understand. Now we need what you can teach us. President Clark looked at Olivia. Admiral Martinez, your recommendation? Olivia thought of all the preparation of the past 6 months. Earth's military had trained for this moment without knowing when it would come. We accept, she said firmly. Earth will join the council and fight the swarm. 2 weeks later, Olivia stood on the bridge of the UES Valiant, Earth's newest and largest battleship. Beside her, Admiral Carter watched as the ship accelerated away from Earth, leading a fleet of 50 vessels. First time humans have left the solar system, Carter said. Not how I imagined it. We go to war as our first act among the stars, Olivia agreed. Maybe that proves the council was right to fear us. Carter shook his head. We go to defend, not conquer. That makes all the difference. The journey to Proxima Station, the council's military headquarters, took 3 days using the faster-than-light technology the council had provided. When they arrived, hundreds of alien ships orbited a massive space station. The Earth fleet looked small by comparison, but Olivia knew their ships carried more weapons and better armor than anything the council had built. On the station, Zixal greeted them personally. The council chamber held representatives from dozens of species, all watching the humans with a mixture of hope and unease. The void swarm has taken another world, Zixal announced. The Telleran homeworld fell yesterday. 6 billion lives lost. A hush fell over the chamber. Olivia saw grief on alien faces that looked nothing like human ones, but the emotion translated perfectly. Admiral Carter stepped forward. Show us everything you know about their tactics, their ships, their movements. Hold nothing back. The Council provided all their data. For hours, human military strategists reviewed the information. Lieutenant Nathan Harris, a former Special Forces soldier, studied the ground combat footage with growing concern. They don't fight like animals, he told Olivia. They fight like machines, perfect coordination, no fear, no self-preservation, just cold efficiency. Dr. Catherine Wilson, Earth's leading xenobiologist, examined the biological samples. Their cellular structure is unlike anything on Earth, she reported. They can adapt rapidly to new environments, almost like they're evolving in real time. By the end of the day, Earth's team had reached a conclusion. Carter presented it to the full council. Your defensive strategy is failing, he said bluntly. You react to their movements instead of forcing them to react to yours. You protect planets in their path instead of striking at their supply lines. You fight like prey, not predators. Some council members shifted uncomfortably, but Zixal nodded. What do you suggest? Carter displayed a star map. The swarm follows predictable patterns. They consume the easiest targets first, then move to harder ones. We need to make ourselves the hardest target possible, then strike where they're vulnerable. A trap, Zixal said. Exactly. We position our combined fleets here, at Vega Colony. Carter pointed to a star system. Make it look weakly defended on the surface. When they commit to the attack, our hidden forces hit them from multiple angles. The council murmured among themselves. Such aggressive tactics were foreign to their thinking. There will be casualties, an alien representative said. The colony has 3 million inhabitants. We'll evacuate the civilians, Olivia said. But, yes, we will lose ships and soldiers. That's the reality of war. This is why we feared humans, another council member said softly. This capacity for calculated violence. No, Zixal corrected. This is why we need them now. The void swarm is the true predator here. Humans understand how predators think. The council voted. The plan was approved. As the meeting ended, Olivia found Zixal waiting for her. "Admiral, I must ask, your people agreed so quickly to join this fight, why?" Olivia thought about Earth, blue and vulnerable in the blackness of space. "Because somewhere out there something hungry is coming, and humans protect what's ours." The trap was set. The Earth fleet moved into position at Vega Colony. The waiting began. The real war was about to start. The Void Swarm arrived at Vega Colony 3 days later. Their ships darkened the sky above the evacuated colony. Black, chitinous vessels shaped like massive insects moved with perfect coordination. Smaller craft swarmed around them like angry bees. From the bridge of the UES Valiant, Admiral Olivia Martinez watched the enemy fleet on the main screen. Beside her, Admiral Carter's face remained calm. "They took the bait," he said. "Now we see if humans still remember how to hunt." Carter opened a channel to all Earth and Council ships hidden in the shadow of Vega's third moon. "All ships, execute. Plan Spear. Attack Pattern Delta." The combined fleet moved as one. Earth's heavily armed battleships led the charge, weapons already firing. The Council's faster, lighter vessels followed, using their speed to target the swarm's flanks. Lieutenant Nathan Harris stood in the dropship with his strike team. 20 human soldiers and 15 aliens from various Council species waited for the order to deploy. The aliens looked nervous. They had never fought in ground combat before. "Listen up," Harris said. "The swarm doesn't expect resistance on the ground. They think everyone evacuated. Our job is to hit their landing parties and gather intelligence about how they fight up close." A Monan soldier named Teak raised a hand. "Lieutenant, my species evolved as gatherers. We have no instinct for combat." Harris nodded. "That's why. You're paired with Sergeant Lisa Brown. Follow her lead. Remember your training. We don't need you to be natural predators. We just need you to act like ones for a few hours." The battle in space intensified. The swarm, caught by surprise, adjusted quickly. Their ships began to form defensive patterns, but the human strategy had worked. The trap was sprung, and now the swarm fought on terms set by Earth. On the Valiant's bridge, Dr. Catherine Wilson monitored biological readings from the enemy ships. "Admiral, I'm detecting unusual energy, signatures from the largest vessel. It appears to be directing the others like a queen in an insect hive." "Carter," Olivia said, "target that command ship." 3 Earth battleships broke formation and concentrated fire on the massive vessel. Council ships provided cover, drawing away the defending swarm fighters. Harris and his team landed on the colony's surface. The streets were empty, buildings abandoned in the hasty evacuation. They moved quickly toward the center of the main settlement where swarm landing craft had been detected. "Stay low, move fast," Harris ordered. "Remember, we want to observe their ground tactics before engaging." From a rooftop position, they watched as insectoid creatures poured from landed ships. The aliens stood on 6 legs, with sharp mandibles and chitinous armor. They worked methodically, harvesting materials from buildings and gathering biological matter from gardens and parks. "They're not just destroying," Harris whispered. "They're collecting, harvesting." Sergeant Brown pointed to a larger creature, directing the others. "Like the queen ship above, they have commanders. Take out that big one and maybe the others lose direction." Harris nodded. "All teams, target command units first. Fire on my mark." In space, the battle turned in favor of the Human Council Alliance. The swarm's command ship listed to one side, heavily damaged by concentrated fire. Smaller ships began to move erratically. "It's working," Carter said. "They're losing coordination. Press the attack." On the colony surface, Harris gave the order to fire. Precision shots took down the command creature. As predicted, the worker aliens fell into confusion. The strike team moved in, engaging the disorganized enemy, but the victory was short-lived. A new command creature emerged from a nearby ship larger than the first. The swarm forces quickly rallied around it. "They adapt fast," Harris said into his comm. "Dr. Wilson, are you seeing this?" In the Valiant Science Lab, Catherine Wilson analyzed the incoming data. "Yes, Lieutenant. The swarm appears to promote new leaders instantly when one falls. Their hierarchy is fluid, not fixed. On the bridge, Olivia received reports from all fronts. The space battle progressed well, but ground teams reported increasing resistance as the swarm adapted to human tactics. They learned quickly, she told Carter. Too quickly for simple insects. Intelligence, Carter agreed. Real intelligence, not just instinct. That makes them more dangerous. The battle continued for hours. Human and council forces pushed hard, following Carter's aggressive strategy. The swarm fought back with growing skill, but the surprise attack had given the Alliance a crucial advantage. Finally, the remaining swarm ships retreated from the Vega system. On the colony surface, Harris and his team eliminated the last of the ground forces. Back on the Valiant, the command staff gathered to assess the victory. The cost had been high. 3 Earth ships destroyed, 7 Council vessels lost, and dozens of ground troops killed. But they had won. For the first time, the Void Swarm had been defeated. "We've proven they can be beaten," Carter told the gathered officers. But this was just one battle. Dr. Wilson brought forward her findings. The swarm is not a simple hive mind. They show signs of advanced intelligence and rapid adaptation. Each encounter makes them smarter, stronger. Harris, freshly returned from the surface, added his observations. They harvest rather than just destroy. They take biological and technological samples from everything they encounter. To what end? Asked Zixal, who had joined the meeting via hologram. Learning, Wilson said. They're studying us as we study them. The victory celebration across the council worlds was muted by this realization. The swarm was not just a force of nature to be resisted. It was an intelligent enemy that could learn and adapt. In the days that followed, Earth's military leaders taught council species the basics of predatory thinking. How to anticipate enemy movements, how to set traps, how to think offensively rather than defensively. Many council representatives still found the concepts difficult to grasp, but they learned. Olivia met with Zixal one evening after a long strategy session. The High Counselor looked thoughtful. "You were right to fear humans," Olivia said. "We are predators. We know how to fight, how to kill." "Yes," Zixal agreed. "But now we see that makes you valuable allies, not enemies. And what happens after the war? If we win?" Zixal's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "Then perhaps predator and prey learn to see beyond those roles. Perhaps we become something new together." Olivia nodded, but as she left the meeting, she wondered. In a galaxy suddenly filled with threats, humanity's predatory nature had found its purpose. But what would happen when peace returned? Would the council still welcome wolves among the sheep when the greater predator was gone? For now, such questions could wait. The swarm had been beaten once, but everyone knew it would return, stronger and smarter than before. 3 months passed since the victory at Vega Colony. The Human Council Alliance fought the Void Swarm in 12 more battles. They won 9 and lost 3. With each encounter, both sides learned and adapted. Lieutenant Nathan Harris, now promoted to Major, trained mixed-species combat teams on Proxima Station. The training area echoed with the sounds of weapons fire and shouted commands. Council soldiers who once feared violence now embraced Earth's combat methods with growing skill. "Move faster," Harris called to a group of Arcavian soldiers. "The swarm won't wait for you to find your courage." Teak, the Monan soldier who had fought beside Harris at Vega, now served as his assistant instructor. The small alien had shown unexpected talent for tactical thinking. "They improved daily," Teak said, watching the training exercises. "My people were gatherers for 100,000 years. Now we learn to hunt in mere months." Harris nodded. Necessity is a powerful teacher. On the other side of the station, Dr. Catherine Wilson worked with council scientists in a heavily secured lab. The room contained sealed containers holding swarm specimens captured during recent battles. "The genetic structure keeps changing," she told Admiral Olivia Martinez during a briefing. "Each new swarm soldier we capture shows slight differences from the last." "Evolving in real time?" Olivia asked. "Yes, but not randomly. They're specifically adapting to counter our strategies." Wilson displayed a hologram showing swarm anatomy. The latest specimens have thicker armor in exactly the spots where our weapons struck in previous battles. Admiral William Carter joined them, his face grim. It gets worse, look at this. He activated a screen showing footage from their most recent battle. Swarm ships moved in formation, but unlike earlier encounters, they now used flanking maneuvers and concentrated fire, tactics that Earth forces had employed against them. They're not just adapting physically, Carter said. They're copying our battle strategies. Olivia studied the footage. They learn from everything they encounter. That's why they harvest rather than just destroy. A terrifying concept, said High Counselor Zixal entering the room. They consume not just matter but knowledge. The news from across council space grew darker. Despite the Alliance's victories, the swarm continued to spread. More worlds fell. Billions died or fled as refugees. The swarm seemed endless, with new ships replacing losses at a rate the Alliance couldn't match. Olivia called an emergency meeting of the War Council. Representatives from Earth and 20 council species gathered. Our current approach isn't working fast enough, she said bluntly. We win battles but lose ground. The swarm adapts too quickly. My scientists have discovered something disturbing, Zixal added. The swarm appears to be targeting human outposts specifically, bypassing easier council targets. The room fell silent. Carter leaned forward. Why target us? We're the newer threat. Dr. Wilson had an answer. Because we're predators. They recognize our threat level and prioritize accordingly. They want human genetic material and knowledge. The implications hung in the air. The swarm sought to absorb humanity's predatory advantages. We need to change our approach, Olivia said. We've been fighting defensively, protecting worlds in their path. Instead, we need to strike at their heart. Their heart? Asked a council representative. We don't even know where they come from. Then we find out, Carter said firmly. In the weeks that followed, small scout ships crept into swarm-controlled territory, tracking ship movements and communication patterns. Major Harris led several dangerous missions, planting tracking devices on swarm vessels. Dr. Wilson analyzed the data. All swarm ships eventually returned to a single location, a star system near the galactic rim. We've found their hive world. Plans for a major offensive took shape. The largest fleet ever assembled, 300 Earth ships and over 500 council vessels, prepared for a direct assault on the swarm's home. The night before the fleet launched, Olivia found Harris staring out a viewport on Proxima Station. Nervous, Major? She asked. Thoughtful, he replied. 6 months ago, these aliens feared us for being predators. Now they follow us into battle. Strange how quickly things change. A common enemy changes perspectives, Olivia said, though I wonder what happens after if we win. Harris glanced at her. You think the council will fear us again once the swarm is gone? Wouldn't you? We've only gotten better at warfare. Earth ships now lead every battle group. Human officers command most mixed species units. Before Harris could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. They rushed to the command center. Swarm ships detected, a controller shouted. A massive fleet approaching Proxima. On the main screen, hundreds of swarm vessels moved toward the station. This was no random attack. The swarm had targeted the Alliance's headquarters. They knew we were planning something, Carter said as he entered the command center. They're trying to stop our offensive before it begins. Olivia took command. Launch all ships. Evacuate non-essential personnel. Prepare defense grids. The battle for Proxima Station began. Alliance ships formed a defensive perimeter as swarm vessels attacked from multiple directions. The station's powerful weapons added to the defense, destroying dozens of enemy ships. On the ground, Major Harris led defense teams against swarm landing parties that breached the outer sections. The fighting was intense, corridor by corridor. In the science lab, Dr. Wilson and her team worked frantically to secure their research. A nearby explosion rocked the lab, shattering containment units. A swarm specimen broke free, lunging at Wilson. She barely escaped, sealing the lab behind her. Hours into the battle, the situation grew desperate. The swarm pressed their advantage with overwhelming numbers. "We can't hold much longer," Carter reported from his ship. "The station's outer defenses are failing." Olivia made a difficult decision. "Begin emergency evacuation. All personnel to escape vessels. Set the station's reactor to overload." As evacuation, ships launched, Olivia remained on the command deck coordinating the retreat. Harris fought his way to her position. "Admiral, we need to go. Now." "Not until everyone else is clear," she insisted. As they raced for the last shuttle, they passed the damaged science lab. Through the window, they saw swarm creatures examining Dr. Wilson's research data. "They're not just fighting," Harris realized. "This is a knowledge raid. They came for our research." The shuttle escaped just as Proxima Station exploded, taking hundreds of swarm ships with it. The surviving Alliance vessels regrouped at Earth's moon base. The mood was somber. Proxima Station lost. Thousands dead. The planned offensive delayed. Dr. Wilson, who had escaped on an early shuttle, brought the most disturbing news. "The swarm now has all our research data," she told the assembled leaders, "including our genetic studies of them and our complete analysis of human DNA. "What will they do with it?" Zixal asked. "Adapt faster. Become stronger." Wilson's voice grew quiet. "Possibly incorporate human traits into their own evolution." Olivia looked around the room at the grim faces of human and alien alike. "The enemy is intelligent, adaptive, and now they know our plans," she said. "But they made one mistake. They attacked us directly and they survived." "How is that a mistake?" asked a council member. "Because now we have prisoners," Olivia replied. "And for the first time we can study live swarm commanders. It's time we learned what we're really fighting." As the Alliance regrouped, a disturbing question hung in the air. What would happen if the swarm, already deadly and intelligent, successfully incorporated humanity's predatory nature into their own evolution? A month after the fall of Proxima Station, the Human Council Alliance gathered their forces at Earth. The blue planet had become the new headquarters for the war effort. Ships from hundreds of Council worlds orbited alongside Earth's battle fleet. In Disandidago, a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Catherine Wilson studied the captured swarm commanders. They were kept in special containment cells designed to block all signals they might send or receive. "They've been changing," she told Admiral Olivia Martinez and Major Harris during a briefing. "Physically changing, even in captivity." The viewing screen showed images of the insectoid creatures. Their bodies had altered since capture, limbs becoming more efficient, eyes evolving better vision, brains growing larger. Without orders from their hive, they seem to be developing more individual intelligence, Wilson explained. "And there's something else we found in their genetic structure." She displayed a complex diagram of DNA patterns. "This section here, it's human DNA. They've already begun incorporating our genetic material into their own." "How is that possible?" Harris asked. "They only captured our research data a month ago." "They're incredibly advanced bioengineers," Wilson said. "Perhaps the most sophisticated in the galaxy. They don't just evolve randomly, they direct their own evolution." Admiral William Carter joined them, accompanied by High Counselor Zix Al. The council leader's four eyes looked tired, but determined. "We've finished analyzing the scout ship." "Reports," Carter said. "We've confirmed the location of the swarm's homeworld. It's unlike anything we expected." The screen changed to show a massive structure orbiting a dead star. Not a planet, but an artificial construction the size of a small moon. "That's not a hive," Olivia said. "That's a ship. A world ship." Zix Al nodded. "Council archaeologists have found records from extinct civilizations. They speak of ancient beings who traveled between galaxies in living ships. We thought they were myths." "The oldest council records mention a war," Carter added. "Over 1,000,000 years ago, against beings that consumed worlds. The records say they were defeated and driven from the galaxy." "Not defeated," Harris said. "Just driven back, and now they've returned." Olivia studied the images carefully. "So the Void Swarm isn't a new threat. They're an ancient one. Maybe the original predator that made the council species fear predators in the first place, which makes this not an invasion, Wilson said softly, but a reclaiming. They believe the galaxy is theirs. The mood in the room darkened. They faced not just an enemy, but the oldest enemy, one that had nearly consumed the galaxy once before. How did they defeat them last time? Harris asked. Zixal's voice was grim. The records are incomplete. They mention a great sacrifice. Many worlds burned to stop the Devourers, as they were called then. We need a different approach, Olivia said. We can't beat them with conventional warfare. They adapt too quickly, learn too fast. Dr. Wilson had been quiet, thinking. Now she looked up. There may be a way. If they direct their own evolution, they must have a central genetic database, a core genetic pattern they modify but never completely change. A weakness? Carter asked. Possibly. If we could create a targeted pathogen that attacks only their core genetic structure, the unchanging part, we might be able to stop them. A biological weapon? Olivia said. Could we deploy it? Wilson nodded slowly. We would need to reach the heart of their world ship, and we would need genetic material from their oldest, most basic forms. Which we don't have, Harris pointed out. We might, Zixal said. The Council's oldest repository on Centaurus Prime contains biological samples dating back hundreds of thousands of years. If any original swarm material exists, it would be there. Plans formed quickly. 2 missions would launch simultaneously. A small elite team led by Major Harris would travel to Centaurus Prime to retrieve the ancient samples. Meanwhile, the main fleet under Admirals Martinez and Carter would attack the swarm world ship as a diversion. The night before launch, Olivia found Harris preparing his team. The Major had selected 12 soldiers, 6 human and 6 from different Council species, including Teak. A suicide mission, Olivia said quietly. You know that, right? Harris checked his weapons. Maybe, but if Wilson's plan works, it's worth it. The Council feared us for being predators, Olivia said. Now they send their people to die alongside us. Not to die, Harris corrected. To hunt. The greatest hunt in history. The next day, the largest fleet ever assembled jumped to the position near the swarm world ship. Over 1,000 vessels from Earth and the Council began their attack. The swarm responded with equal force, sending thousands of ships to defend their home. Under cover of the massive battle, a small, fast ship carried Harris's team to Centaurus Prime. The ancient repository stood on a planet now abandoned, its inhabitants evacuated months earlier. The team moved quickly through dusty halls filled with biological samples from across the galaxy's history. Here, Teak called, his small fingers working the ancient control systems. Records of the first conflict with the Devourers. They found what they sought. Preserved tissues from the original enemy, sealed away for 1,000,000 years. As they secured the samples, alarms blared. Swarm forces had followed them. They knew we'd come here, Harris realized. They knew what we'd look for. Fighting their way back to their ship, the team suffered losses. 3 Council soldiers died. 2 humans fell. Teak was badly wounded but survived. With the precious samples secure, they escaped and headed for the main battle. At the swarm world ship, the situation was critical. Alliance ships fought valiantly, but the swarm seemed endless. The world ship itself had begun to move, massive, engines pushing it toward the jump point that would take it to Earth. On the UES Valiant, Dr. Wilson worked frantically to develop the targeted pathogen using the ancient samples Harris had retrieved. Time was running out. Alliance ships were being destroyed faster than they could damage the world ship. It's ready, Wilson finally announced, but it must be delivered to the central chamber of the world ship. Their genetic database would be at the core. Harris volunteered immediately. My team will deliver it. The remaining members of his strike force prepared for one final mission. Their small craft, protected by the last of Earth's battleships, approached the world ship. Finding a breach in its outer shell, they entered. The interior was unlike anything they had imagined. Not mechanical, but biological. A living ship. They fought through waves of swarm defenders, following the energy signatures to the core. The heart of the world ship, they found not machines but beings. Humanoid creatures with pale skin and large dark eyes sat in biomechanical interfaces, directing the swarm forces. Around them, vats of genetic material pulsed with energy. They're not insects, Harris said in shock. The insects are just their soldiers. These are the real swarm. One of the pale beings rose. We were here before you, it said in a strangely melodic voice. Before any of you. This galaxy was ours to seed with life as we chose. We returned to reclaim it. You don't reclaim by destroying, Harris replied. You don't create by consuming. We improve, we perfect. All life will become part of us, all knowledge absorbed. Even your predatory nature now strengthens us. Harris nodded to Teak, who released the pathogen containers. Not today. As the pathogen spread, the pale beings screamed. The genetic vats bubbled and failed. Throughout the world ship, swarm creatures began to collapse as their controlled evolution turned against them. Harris and his remaining team fought their way out as the world ship began to break apart. Only Harris and Teak made it to their ship and escaped. The victory was complete but costly. Half the Alliance fleet destroyed, millions dead. But the swarm was defeated, their world ship a drifting wreck, their forces across the galaxy falling, inactive without central control. Months later, as reconstruction began, Olivia stood with Zixal in Earth's orbit, watching the combined fleet. The Council feared Earth for being predators, Zixal said. We were right to fear predators, but wrong about which ones truly threatened us. And now? Olivia asked. Now we understand that the galaxy needs both, the peaceful builders and the protective hunters. Balance. As ships from across the galaxy worked together to rebuild what was lost, humanity took its place among the stars not as feared outsiders, but as valued guardians. The predator had found its proper place in the cosmic ecosystem, not to dominate but to protect. And somewhere in the darkness between galaxies, the few surviving swarm ships drifted, adapting, evolving, waiting. The oldest predators would return someday, but when they did, they would find the galaxy ready, predator and prey now united, stronger together than either could be alone.